Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producers here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
We are live right now on Twitch and also on YouTube. And if you're listening to this, you could have watched the entire broadcast. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, or on YouTube. Just search at Tom and Dan Live for a video experience.
The Orlando Science Center is doing their observatory tours again. So if
they
you
didn't know if
missed
they
it-
were going to do that. Like, they didn't know if they were going to open them up again, so I'm glad that they're doing it.
Yep, they're doing advanced booking. It starts in November, so we got some time, but they do book out fast because there's a limited amount of people they could take on the tour.
Well, it's very intimate. Yeah, and you can't, it's tiny spaces you're going into. They can't take, 100 people in there. So if you want those tickets, I would jump on them absolutely quickly.
And they're also doing a Science Night, is it Dead Halloween Party?
Yeah, get it? Like they usually
Science Night Dead.
Yeah, they usually do Science Night Live. This is Science Night Dead.
Yeah, for adults 21 plus, October 21st. So if you want to go to a Halloween themed Science Night
man.
Live,
Get your spooky on.
Yep, you can go to the Orlando Science Center. You want to do some Weird Job?
Yeah, Weird Job Wednesday has basically deteriorated into a point where now listeners are sending in songs of their own that just poke fun at me.
Daniel Dennis. Yes. Weird Job Wednesday. Ooh, you got a weird job. Yeah.
All right.
What's going
Yeah, he
on?
basically just sent that to me and said, this is what you sound like, you M-word. You little M-word.
What, is he making fun of you?
Yeah,
happening?
absolutely trying to bully me. So there's your theme song of the week.
I mean, well,
Very hurtful, extremely hurtful, a waste of your time, a waste of my time, sir. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, but how is he trying to bully you by making himself
No, he said,
sound
this
horrible?
is what you sound like. He sent the email, he's like, this is what you sound like, little M-word. That's what you sound like.
But you don't sound like that.
I don't think so either, but it
You're
still
saying
hurts a little bit. It still hurts a little bit when people say that. It's
Don't-
like when
don't let 'em get to
It's
you.
like the guy on the playground
Doesn't
that called
hurt.
my daughter poop eyes, and my daughter doesn't have brown eyes. She has blue eyes. They're beautiful.
Yeah,
That
blue
they
kid's
eyes.
should
just
be-
an idiot.
It's just
Yeah,
being nothing.
No, but it still hurt her. It still hurt me. We're very sensitive.
Why does it hurt you
We're
now?
very sensitive people.
Can't only
No,
the truth hurts.
No, everything hurts. You don't
No,
understand.
it's just-
The truth hurts the most, but everything hurts. Everything's raw.
Oh,
Everything's inflamed.
But what if someone said, like, you're so tall, it disgusts me? Would that insult you?
Yeah, because you know they mean the opposite.
Yeah, I'd be like, I know what you're doing.
Oh,
there.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, what if someone said, like, you know,
Thank you, Sam, for figuring that out for me.
You know-
I wouldn't have known how to go on that one, but Sam told
your
me the way to go on
broadcast
it.
career has been so short. You're
Hey, I see what you did there. See, you're doing
it's
it.
all short.
Ah.
I can't help. I can't help myself. Anyway,
On the line with us is Eric. Eric, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
I'm telling you, there's a delay. It's going to drive me crazy.
It's fine.
is there a delay, Eric?
I don't have a delay, I don't think.
Okay.
All right.
We'll see
Be a
about
It's
little
only on one
snappier.
side.
We'll see. It's a one-side delay.
So, Eric, what is your weird job?
So I was a bus driver and bus driver dispatcher at the Walt Disney World.
Whoa, a lot of buses.
So,
How many buses do they have on property?
Oof.
456.
wow.
Well, yeah, he came correct with a
It's
number.
the
Wow.
second. It's the second largest public bus transportation in the United States, besides New York Metro.
Wow. I didn't know that.
That's a really awesome fact you came loaded with, man. Well done. Wow, 456 buses.
So, Eric, what kind of training do you need to become a bus driver at Disney World?
So cool thing is, before this, the biggest thing I ever drove was a U-Haul truck. So I had zero training.
Gotcha.
So you go in, and they literally get you your CDL, and you have 31 days of training.
All right. Now, the CDL, how hard is that to get? Like, do you think I could get it?
In 2 weeks?
Let's say, yeah.
Well, you'd have to do 31 days of training. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, here's the thing is, when you drive your car, your wheels are in front of you. Your front wheels are in front of you, right? You don't even think about it. When you get into that bus, your front wheels are 8 feet behind you. So that's a hard mental hurdle to get over, like when you're doing turns.
Why do
Okay.
they put the wheels so far back? Put them up where the car wheels are, you idiots. These bus designers don't know what the hell they're doing.
But what's in
It's confusing everybody. Wheels should be front wheels go where the front wheels go, and back wheels go where the back wheels go.
but what? Like, how long does the CDL test take? Like, is it a
It's all online. You can have your mom take it. Super easy.
What are we talking here?
Well, it all depends on the person. Like, I was able to do it pretty quick because I was able to get onto it. But there's people that failed the CDL 3 or 4 times before
You know
they
what we
finally
call
got
those
it.
people.
Don't put them
Well,
in bind.
Yeah, we have terms for those people. We
It's-
can't say anymore.
But what I'm asking is it just a test, and it's up to you to either get help to study for it or study yourself, and then you take it?
Or do you mean they
Like
don't
the
walk you
bar?
through it like a motorcycle class?
Yeah.
You
Like-
want somebody to hold your hand and walk you through it
Yeah,
like
yeah, like-
any motorcycle course that you take in a weekend. They are trying to get you to pass.
Yeah.
Because they want you to buy that sweet $24,000 Harley Davidson.
Yeah. You go there, you do, like they say,
You do
in
the
class
bare
instruction. Yeah,
minimum.
same thing with scuba.
Scuba,
yeah.
motorcycle, medical marijuana, all so easy to get.
Yeah, you sit there, and then they basically tell you what the test is going to ask you,
Yeah.
and they prepare you to take the test. And then when you're taking the test, they're like, "You need some help? We'll give you the answers."
Oh,
That
they do
kind of thing.
open book. Mine was
Yeah,
open
yeah.
book.
Yeah,
Open
yeah.
book.
Yeah, I had a pamphlet. I just flipped through the whole pamphlet. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where you stop.
You-
Oh, that's the law. Oh.
You can't fail. So is it like that?
Unfortunately, no, because you literally have people's lives in your hands. So they want you to pass because if you do not, you could kill people.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. You know who passed this that you're not going to believe passed this, and I think actively works there as a driver, is Super Mario Ken that you
Oh.
know from the Monsters. We both know him.
Okay.
He is a driver.
Yeah.
He passed the test.
Yeah. I think I got laid off, and there's a.
Never mind.
Crystal
never
told
mind.
me some.
I'll cut all of this
things
out.
on
I'll cut
social
all of
media.
that. Yeah. Well, yeah. You had a heart attack thing.
Yeah.
I remember you had a heart attack. Had a heart issue.
So, but what I mean with the CDL test is it just multiple choice questions? Is you have to do some math?
I think there's some scenarios. I think you
Yeah.
got to
Is it like
draw a bus inside a parking lane.
Is it like the test you have to kind of similar to what you get or take with your driver's license?
No, it's someone from the DMV sits with you on the bus, and you have to drive on the road with them. So you have to do, and you have to do a skills course test, kind of like a motorcycle. You have to back into certain areas.
This
you
is
have to
like
do
driver's
certain
ed in high
maneuvers
school.
with the
Yeah,
bus.
Okay,
but
all
this
right.
is hard because driver's ed, before I got to it, right? Driver's ed, you would take it at school, and it was kind of nerve-wracking to do all of that in front of your contemporaries, in front of your friends.
Yeah.
But then, like, a couple things changed, like, right before I got there, where they're like, no, you can just take it, you can just do it, you can do the written test down there, and then you don't even need to do it in school. You'll just go down there on your own and do
What'd
it.
you do in school then?
We drove
The
in
practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we would practice in the cars, but then they got rid of it. They're like, well, if you're not going to do any of this stuff at school anymore, we'll sell all the cars.
Oh.
They got rid. It's not even there anymore.
I know
Yeah.
now it's like a digital like arcade thing, but back in my day,
Yeah.
they
We
took
had
us
real
out on
cars.
the road, and the teacher sat next to you, and
What'd
he
you
would
have
try
for
and
cars?
distract you.
God, I wish
It was
I had
all
a button.
Trash. I got one.
I've been waiting to push the button on you
It's there.
for my whole life.
You know what I want? I want one of those old Ford Tempos. We had Tempos. They don't even make
I
Tempos
can't remember,
anymore.
but yeah, it was crappy cars.
Eric, how do you practice?
Practice. We talk about
I'm sure
practice.
they have courses, right?
Well, but what I'm saying is like you go down to take this test, but like with a driver's test, like you practice with your parents' car, they take you over to
Yeah,
the
cul-de-sac
Walmart
or something.
Walmart parking lot,
Yeah.
and then you practice like parallel parking.
Yeah,
you know,
your friend's big driveway.
but you can't practice with a bus.
I'm sure Disney has property where they have a course. I would
But do they
assume.
let you check out
Yeah.
a bus for the night? Like,
during the course, I guess they train you and then you take the class, right? Or
Yeah, for the first 2 weeks, you show up every morning, and there's a skills lot. And you have a trainer, and you practice in the skills lot, and then eventually you get on property with a trainer on board. So you got 2 weeks of training with a trainer going over everything.
Okay, I got to
I'm
tell
so
you.
glad that was 2 weeks.
I also got to tell you something. I bought Train Simulator, which has it's sort of like buses, right?
Wow.
I bought the Train Simulator for my Xbox,
Yeah.
and I was going to play it. And it is so exactly what this guy's saying. For the first 2 weeks in the game, you just get up in the morning and you go to the field and you drive this train around in circles. That's why I got rid of the game. I'm like, this game sucks. Every day for 2 weeks, I got to get up and drive a train in a circle at the training lot.
So, Eric, once you get hired and get all the certification,
What do they say to you?
Do they give you a route and you stick with that, or do they put you throughout the park in different places? I
think they should make you serve snow cones just to belittle you a little bit before you get the bus.
You got to hold balloons on Main Street.
Yeah,
no,
exactly. Casey Jones hot dog.
No, they pop you into a random park, so a random hub, and that's your hub until because it's a union job, so there's a bid every 6 months for a different time slot, like a work schedule. So they just pop you in, and then you just show up to wherever it is, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, where I got lucky. I got Animal Kingdom. You just show up, and then they go, here's your route, and it's different every day.
What's the honey hole of parks? Is it Animal Kingdom? Is that the one everybody wants, and why?
So if you want to skate by and do nothing, it's Animal Kingdom because it's the slowest.
Yeah.
But if you want to get in there and really put the grind on, you go to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, where all the heat is, all the princesses.
So what are some of the problems that you face when you're a bus driver daily? Is it rowdy people?
Is it your own hemorrhoids because you're a fat slob?
I imagine that you're constantly nervous about running over kids, right?
Yeah. Kids. They should stop having kids there, man. It'd be a lot easier to run the buses if there's no kids at the Magic Kingdom.
What's the problems?
Honestly, it's tourists. It's people looking at their GPS and they don't know where they're going. Their kids are screaming in the back. The wife's bitching at them, and the dad don't know what to do.
I can hear your veiled racism, sir.
No, it's other drivers are the big, not little kids in the road, none of that. It's the other drivers because they're the ones that pull in front of a bus and slam on their brakes. I got 72 people back here. Half of them are standing. They're not holding on to the handrails, you know? That's the danger.
I do that too, but it's just to test my core. I stand there and I'm like, I can stop myself with the bus brakes. Here's another thing I've noticed. They put up those giant signs as you're coming into Magic Kingdom or to the Disney area that say, do not pull off on the side of the shoulder.
Do not stop.
Or do not stop. And everybody's pulled off on the side of the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's like the signs aren't even, they're invisible signs.
Yeah.
People are doing it actively in front of the signs. The only way you stop that is if you start, citing these people, right? And you have to have cops there say yo, we do mean this. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
Signs don't exist to tourists.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Were you a cool bro driver where you let people, maybe bring on their adult beverages, or were you the one that's like, oh, you got to finish it before you get on the bus?
So when I worked at the campground, Fort Wilderness,
Yeah.
I didn't care what happened. It was the Wild West.
Yeah.
You could get on with a margarita and a giant. You could get a giant one of those New Orleans grenade drink cups. I don't care. Just get on the bus.
Hell yeah.
But when we were on actual roads, you can't have it because it's like having an open container. It's my driver's license on board. You know what I mean? It's like,
But
I'm
it
sorry,
shouldn't
dude.
be.
You gotta get rid of that.
Universal drivers are cooler.
They should make
They
all
look the other way.
Should they not make all buses limos? Just make them all limos.
Yeah, I'm not driving.
Yeah, I'm not driving. You're not drinking. You're fine.
That's the best part of staying on property.
You had 2 weeks of training. You're the professional. You're good to go. I'm back here with an elephant ear and a huge mega beer,
Right.
and just leave me alone. I'm not
Yeah.
hurting anybody. And the only way I would get you in trouble is if I got up there and I were unruly. And why would I be that, right? Just put a piece of glass.
I
there.
did have a guy pull a couple aluminum can Coors Lights out of his jacket one time and crack them open and start drinking, and I was like, that's fine.
Might have been
That
me.
was my
you look
husband.
the other
Might
way.
have been me.
Yeah. I always wonder, do people start up conversations with you while you're driving?
Oh, yes, they do.
And then,
Are you talking
all
about
the time.
yourself? Are you talking about yourself?
And
Are you
then-
asking what kind of
they're
engine?
chirping them crazy,
Yeah.
distracting them.
does Disney tell you cannot talk to the guests
Yeah.
because it's distracting?
Or do you need to be extra magical?
So here's the thing about the bus drivers. They're in a weird spot. I call them the blades of cast members.
Okay.
So they have to have the magic, right? Because you're a cast member, so you have to have the magic. But you're a friggin' bus driver in reality where people could get hurt. So you have to toe the line of magic and reality. So when people start chirping
Tom
at
hates
you
that.
when you're driving the bus, you can respond to them, but you just got to make sure you watch the road. I'm a chirper myself, so I chirp right back at them.
I could tell you were a chirper. That's why I didn't lean in too much, because you and I could get annoying real quick, buddy. Oh, man.
Eric,
We got the goods, brother.
if someone wanted to just get on the bus
I don't know about
and then just continue to ride around in the back your whole day.
route.
Yeah.
I
I want to get back there and clean my guns and ride around.
Can you tell them, are you tell them, like, hey, you're not allowed to do this, or are they allowed to do that? Because what does Disney care if someone wants to ride a bus all day? How does that work?
There's no bus ticket, so you don't even have to be staying on property.
I know.
You're just a person getting on the bus. And no, like I've literally had little kids with their parents sit back, and I'm like, hey, we're here, and they're like, no, we want to go again. It's like, okay.
That's what poor
Like,
people
there's
do.
no
yeah.
rules.
I was about to say that because
I think I would do that.
I got pitched because we're gonna go to Fort Wilderness in after Christmas this year,
Yeah.
or like for 2 days. I'm gonna camp in a tent, which and
Like the day after
Don't
Christmas?
do it.
When you got all
Don't
your
do
toys?
it.
Like 2 days.
When you got all your
Okay,
toys?
hold on. Crystals, because we ran out of money first. So
that Hawaii trip. Really?
Wait a minute, so now
the
you're out
Moab,
of
this
money for
goddamn
Christmas?
Moab.
You're out of money for Christmas, so you're staying in a tent
No.
the day after Christmas? What's happening
So
over there?
Crystal's, we're all gone crazy, and then we're like, we have to. I'm obsessed with these. We got to go on trips and all these
Yeah.
adventures.
You just got to make sure your sons remember the experiences.
And then so we got to Washington D.C. and then we're like, okay, we'll do the D.C. trip right before Christmas,
Right.
and then after Christmas, Crystal's like, we could fit one more mini adventure in, and they're like, what about Fort Wilderness? And we'll go with the Wizards family.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, but and then we started looking at the RVs, and it was like, $1,800 with the
Yeah,
RV
they're
and the
expensive, man. Yeah.
And then Crystal's like, well, what about this? We could just rent a tent site, split it with the Wizards family, and do tents.
Yeah.
And and then we can go
Oh,
around.
I've seen the tent area.
So we're
it's
we're,
the same area
yeah,
as the
so
RV.
we're gross in
It's
paradise.
all mushed in the corner.
And then Crystal tries to sell to me, and if we're looking for something to do, we could just ride the monorail around in the monorail loop, and then go to the Contemporary. And then I was like,
This
what?
is like
I'm like, they let you do that? And you're like, yeah, that's free. You could just ride. It's a
This
different
is what
resort.
rich-
hotel.
This is what rich homeless
Resort
people
hopping.
do.
I do that.
And then I was like, well, without going.
Monorail crawl, bro.
We're not even staying there or
No.
going to the party. We're just monorail.
You
That's what
take
she
a-
called it.
Yes, that's what it's a thing.
There's
and I'm like,
nothing
well, that's
more-
for poor people.
Yeah, it
That's
is for
why I
poor
do
people.
it.
I'm
That's-
tents
yeah.
and a monorail
Yeah.
crawl.
Nobody
I can't
wants to
stay at the
see
Floridian.
Nobody wants to see dirty tent people riding their monorail. Get the
No.
hell off our
That's what
monorail,
I mean.
you dirty tent people.
Yeah, we'll be a bunch of tent people.
I'm a Grand Floridian bitch.
trying
Get
to
the hell out of here.
pretend like we're staying at a Disney resort, but
Yeah,
really
I
just
can
staying in a
tell.
tent.
I can tell there's dirt on your face like you work in a coal mine.
And then I'm like, oh God! I mean, this is what we've gotten
can
Oh,
to.
you gotta use the
and I
communal
can
showers.
tell. I can
Oh.
tell.
And I'm like, well, we should have made more money.
I
We
can tell.
gotta do this.
These people didn't
Get
even
to work.
These people didn't even sponge off before they got on the monorail.
So you're allowed to do all this, just ride the public
Yeah.
transportation
Yeah,
all
yeah.
day.
This
like a
family smells like
poor
camp suds. This family
POS.
smells like camp suds.
Just make sure you take off your real tree camo before you get on the monorail. That's how they know.
So, now what are we talking hours wise? Is it like an 8-hour day, hour
Oh.
lunch? What are we talking the shift?
So you can have as short of a shift as 6.5 hours, right? That's nothing. It's not even worth like getting up for work. But
that's
with
nothing.
bus drivers, I mean, I was working sometimes 12 hours, 6 days a week, 12
That's
hours
too
a day.
much.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not
they
safe.
they grind you down there. Well, that's the legal DOT limit is
Right.
12 hours and a 10-hour time frame. So like 12 hours on, 10 hours off, and then you can work another 12.
All right.
What kind of horrible things have you had to deal with? Because with the amount of people that are coming and
Ooh,
going.
I got one. All
right.
And if you're in a theme park, someone has doo-dooed the bus.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say worse than that.
Well, the kids, old
No,
people
I-
do.
Puke.
Yeah, I was going to say you probably got some, the red wedding or something. I was going to say you probably, what
So I've had the yellow on the bus, I've had the brown on the bus, I've had the puke on the bus, I've had all that. That's easy to handle because custodial comes out and handles that. I don't
Okay.
touch it. But the fun part is when you make someone mad and they yell at you. That's the fun part.
What?
I had a lady.
This guy's a maniac.
I had a lady. So there's Port Orleans. It's a resort on property, right? And it's so big they have it split into Riverside and French Quarter. It's
Yeah, I
like two
peed in the
sections.
corner of one of those rooms at Port Orleans. Yeah, filled it
So
up.
I'm at Epcot. I'm at Epcot. I get a call. Hey, go over to this load zone pickup for Port Orleans. Cool, no problem. So at a certain point of the day, they split the resort into two different load zones because it's getting heavy with guests. So they had just split it into the two different sections. So I pull up to one of them, and I get out, and I say, Riverside, come on board. So people get on board. And there's a mom, a dad, two little kids in a mega stroller, and a grandma standing there. Mom gets on board, gets off board, and says it's too full. I go, okay. So I go and I get the French Quarter people. Come on board. Get them on board. Now I'm packed. Now nobody can get on board. And I get on the bus, and I sit down. And the lady that got off the bus, said, why the F didn't you let us on the bus? I said, ma'am, you got on the bus, you got off the bus. You could have got on. She goes, what's your name? I said, ma'am, my name is Eric. She goes, what's your last name? I said, ma'am, I don't have to tell you that. She goes, what's your ID number? I said, ma'am, I also don't have to tell you that. She goes, so what do I say when I complain? Some goofy MFer named Eric wouldn't let me on the... I said, man, Goofy's at Magic Kingdom. And I closed the order.
Yes, Disney joke.
Now, I didn't want to point this out, but T-Mobile really garbled your punchline there. T-Mobile really garbled your punchline.
Also, who gets someone's ID number and then takes the time to write it?
I've never done that one.
Hey, this person didn't let me back my... I mean, what...
Also, I'd
who
have
has
to
the
get on
time?
my phone to
Right?
remember the ID number. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to say it again. Say it one more time.
Eric, what about in your time as a bus driver? I've seen this happen with like semi trucks where they go to take a turn and it's usually a left and they cut it too tight and their back tires end up running over something.
I love that.
You know,
I like it. I like it when you run over things you shouldn't, like a
And-
water main, like that plastic cover, and it just snaps it in half.
Yeah. You ever damaged anything on duty?
So I didn't, but when I was a dispatcher, I would get all the calls from all the buses on property that had emergencies. And there was a bus that by the Transportation Ticket Center and World Drive, the guy took a left turn, and cut it way too short, like you said, and he put the bus up on a median, and all six wheels were off the ground.
Oh,
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, he should get a medal. That's
So
like
you
a
did seesawing.
one of one.
Do you get instantly fired for that? Or how does Disney handle that?
How do you get strikes?
So to get fired for that, you got to have a certain amount of damage to the bus, a certain number to get fired. So if you don't hurt anybody and nothing gets damaged, they're just like, don't do it again.
But if you damage like 20% of the bus, then
Oh yeah, you're done.
Do bus
I've seen buses slam into other buses and rip the whole back door off.
oh my God.
Do bus drivers want the Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach shift just because?
Stinky
Stoners.
wet.
No,
Well,
you get to see a lot
so-
of acid.
Yeah,
During-
there's some MILFs.
This guy
you know.
knows. Tom and I are horny. We're not picking it based on workload. We're picking it on like
Yeah.
how hot are the people getting on the bus.
Yeah, they're showing up, and then when
Yeah.
they leave, sometimes they leave their whatever the shawl
Yeah.
off.
Ma'am,
and-
you left your sarong, and I can see your thong.
So during the summertime, when all the Brazilians are in town, Blizzard Beach
Now he's
is called the
getting nervous.
Bikini Run.
No,
The bikini run.
I knew there was a bikini run.
Take us on the bikini run.
And do all the old horny bus drivers bid for the bikini
it's
run?
definitely a white hair driving that bus.
Everyone that comes in are like, you have Blizzard runs today. You have Blizzard routes open. Everyone tries to get the Bikini Run.
I knew it. Confirmed.
So, Eric, what are we talking pay-wise? What are we looking at for Disney World bus driver?
So they're on the higher scale of pay for cast members. So when I was there working as much as I was working with overtime and double time and all this stuff, I was probably around 60.
And all the bikinis your eyeballs can eat.
60's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
like,
for 12-hour
if you were
shifts.
like a younger dude, single dude, you get that bikini run about once a month.
Can you pop an AirPod in your ear and listen to a podcast? Or
I
is
thought you
it-
were going to say Papa Molly. Or
No,
something.
no,
yeah.
no, I'm saying, can you listen to anything, or is
Yeah.
it just the sound of the bus and the tourists
Yeah, and do you have to cue,
talking Portuguese?
Do you have to cue all of the vocals, or is that all done by location, geolocation now?
So no electronics at all. So you got to sit there and just listen to the playlist. And no, all the stuff is GPS.
Yeah.
So as you reach certain points, it triggers. Now, you can opt to manually do it. Like, when I was a dispatcher, we had spiels that you could put, like, if it was someone's birthday or something, I could remote send a spiel to the bus. So one time there was a guy, buddy of mine, and I looked at the load zone with all dudes in load zone.
Oh.
Bikini Run's getting them.
Hold on,
I
Eric.
sent the princess spiel to them. So they're like, we're traveling with a Disney princess.
Mr. Old Punchline again. Goddamn T-Mobiles hate you, man.
Yeah. Mr. T.
He
was like, I'm not letting this guy.
fool that uses me when he's telling his bus stories.
I'm not letting this guy say anything.
Hey, sucker, you better stop looking at them bikinis.
So, and Eric, as a dispatcher, like that's just an office job. You're there coordinating all the drivers.
Sort of. So you're in this operations center that has the operations for all transportation on property. So watercraft, monorail, all the different things. And I have 6 screens in front of me with all the buses on property as they're running. So anytime there's an emergency, that I get called. Anytime there's a missing route, I have to fill it. Like, it's your part 911 dispatcher, part logistics. Like, it's everything.
I wonder, do they have like a huge mechanics team that Disney employs?
One guy.
Or
it's
is
one guy.
Or is it subcontracted out to a different company that
It
just
used to be Mears, but I don't know anymore.
Yeah. Who fixes them?
So yeah, they got a gigantic, like acres big bus repair like warehouse. It's like 50 bays for buses.
And there's just and
it's
Disney employs
it's all
their
done on
own
property.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess they're all their own bus mechanics, I would imagine.
Diesel mechanics. I've never. That's a job.
Let's put that on the list. I'd love to talk to a Disney diesel bus mechanic.
I knew an old Disney boat mechanic.
That's cool.
I don't know if I can get a hold of him
Because
again,
think about it. All you have to do is scale it a little bit higher, and with your profit sharing and what you offer for benefits, right? You could probably get all of the old time and the good bus guys that come over to you.
Yeah,
they want to live in Florida, right?
You're right.
Get free Disney
I'm just saying, like, with a lot of, like, because I know a lot of guys that are, like, 25, 30-year Disney employees, right? And I know Andrea knows a lot of those people.
They're drawn there,
it would make sense that if you were, like, a top-tier, really good at, busing, why not? It's the second largest in North America. Yeah. You'd go there.
Eric, thanks so much for telling us about your bus driver job.
Yeah, this was a great one, man. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and you know what I really liked about this one is your freedom to tell us that you are a pervert about the
Bikini Run.
The Bikini Run. And that makes you a real listener, That makes you real. And I hope you know how much we appreciate that, okay?
No problem. Thanks, guys, for letting me tell the stories.
All right, man. Be good.
So that's the one thing. See, because some of these jobs I find, like, appealing.
You couldn't do this one?
Well, the fact that you can't listen to something and you just have to like be in your own head and just
deal with other people in the public
yelling
at you.
This is something we've been neglecting from Weird Job that we should start doing. Each one of us needs to echo and talk about whether or not this would be a job for them, because I am absolutely the opposite of you. Me being able to have a task, have a route, I love tasks. I love checking things off. I got 7 stops and I'm alone. Perfect job. Would love it. Leave me alone in my own brain. I'll just complete the task. 7 stops.
You can't guarantee you're going to be left alone, though.
Well, but I can chirp. So I'll be all right.
Chirp.
I'll be all right. But I want to be left alone. If somebody asks me a question, I'm going to obviously be pleasant. I'm magical. I'm going to give them the magic.
I'd have a problem with, for sure, I'd be driving the bus and then,
get distracted.
Well, I'd panic. Then I'm like, wait. Am I still drunk from yesterday?
Oh my God!
Just because you go, sometimes
babies on that bus.
You're still.
Sometimes I forget I'm sober. Sometimes I forget I'm sober, and I'm like,
you're like Denzel flying the plane.
Yeah.
You didn't drink
right
before the shift, but you were drinking heavily the night before, and the alcohol's still in your system. You know what I'm saying? But
some would say it's worse. How about you, Sam? You think you could do it?
And then
no.
Just the too many people.
Between the people and, like he said, like people drive like maniacs out there, and I already hate driving in Orlando traffic. I would
be high stress.
Oh my god,
What
I'd
are
be
the
stressed out the
things-
entire time.
Well, it's tourist driving,
Yeah.
and then it's like when anytime you
people
rent
cutting
a car,
across 3 lanes.
They really do. Like,
yeah, I know.
Andrea and I were commenting about it. I think the last time we went on Disney property, we saw a bus the bus was just getting. It was like the bus was getting bullied on its way to Magic Kingdom because
yeah, people don't give a damn about the buses.
and the
Yeah.
buses don't have the acceleration, so little
Right.
cars are zipping all around them.
you also don't care about the rental cars that you're driving, so you're driving in the wrong gear, and then you don't know how to you didn't take the time to even look at how the car worked. Really, you
don't care.
You're just like, I'm getting it there.
Yeah, we just got to get there. Plus, you're still hungover, just like the bus driver.
Or you're drunk because you're drinking your whole vacation and you think, well, I'm on vacation. Drinking and driving isn't a thing because that's what you
Right.
convince yourself. I'll drive on Disney property drunk.
You ever driven a bus?
Never. No, I've never driven a large semi truck. You know,
Me neither.
I've towed.
We should do that, right?
I've towed a huge RV in my truck, which is kind of
That's pretty good.
You know, I'm driving something that's 40 feet.
Yeah, and
because
wider than your vehicle.
the RV is 25 feet in my truck, so with I can understand turning radiuses and things like that, like how to turn wide.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing when I'm towing my boat or an RV, and if you're taking a left, you have to swing it out way wide
Yeah.
because whatever you're towing is
so
a trailer or the bus.
because your wheels will
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of pivot.
Yeah, and it's not going to, it's going to take a huge turning radius to turn, so you could clip the car that's, sitting there at the traffic light or whatever, and then if you get close to it, then backing out of that situation, people are going, then they're honking at you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It becomes, and that's where I am the worst, where I get myself in a situation and then I have to be calm and follow the protocol to get out
Sure.
while everybody's honking and screaming that
That's
I'm
hard.
an idiot.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, I can't do
That's a skill.
People on the bus are like, "What's happening? Why is this guy doing this?" And then
That's a skill, right?
other people in the cars are honking at you. It's like super high pressure situation.
Yeah, it's like being a first string quarterback and your team's down and you hear the crowd booing your name and you only have one shot.
Yeah.
To get out of it. That's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, and I can imagine you make a mistake.
I want to be monorail driver.
Yeah, because
You
at
don't have to
least
deal with anybody.
Well, I feel like monorail driver is an incorrect term. I think you should be an operator,
Sure,
right?
I'm fine with
because
that.
you're not driving it. It's on a track, for Christ's
Yeah,
sake.
and I
Yeah.
think
Now,
it's
it's really dangerous because we know people that have, well, we don't know them, but we know that there have been accidents on monorails.
yeah, but that's an anomaly accident that
It is.
happened when it was overnight and with employees.
Monorail has always been my favorite, though, even since I was a kid.
It's
Second
computer
only-
operated. Do you even hit a button?
Yeah, I think you do.
yeah, I think you hit some buttons.
I think they do have a human in charge of it. My second is I love the what is the thing called? The Sky.
Skyway.
What is it called now? Yeah, it's my favorite, and I can't even name it.
What is it?
It's it's like an old school gondola. It's I can't believe Sam and I are both blanking on this. It's out of Disney.
but it's a ride, right?
Well, no, it's just a form of
Skyliner.
Skyliner.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's a form of transportation. I mean, it's just a gondola is all it is, but I
Yeah.
really like it. It's like
Gotcha.
super peaceful to me. Like you get up in it and you're just kind
It's
of like
terrifying to me.
I very much like gondolas, which doesn't make sense because I don't like planes. But why do I like the gondola?
Well,
Makes no
because it's
sense.
attached. I feel like the
I
fact
get- but
that it's
the
yeah,
attached.
but have you
doesn't
ever
bother
seen that
me.
thing when it's windy?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've been in it
hell
windy.
no.
I've been in rain. Like I don't know. It just doesn't. I mean, it's weird. It's absolutely weird.
A regular bus driver, like a city bus driver,
like a Lynx bus.
I think that's hard.
they've seen
Oh, my God.
That's hard.
real atrocities.
You
because,
deal with the lowest and you drive the streets.
Yeah, because at least with Disney, think about everybody there has a couple dollars because they're
Right.
at Disney.
Right.
They're spending $10,000 on a vacation.
And they're
or
mostly happy by and large. I think the vibe when they get on property is they're
Well, they're
trying
on
to be
vacation.
happy. Yeah.
I mean, there's no homeless people riding it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like there's, and
That's
so-
actually, you know what? that you can guarantee.
Yeah,
you will
yeah.
not have.
Yeah.
Maybe once a year, there's one guy that sneaks on, but for the most part,
Yeah, because they're not going to be
even
on property.
One. Not even one.
And so I don't know. Disney bus driver has to be sought after in the bus driving community, right?
Yes, in the community, I would say so.
Just because, like, is that or like downtown Orlando?
No.
It's like,
No.
where do you see the worst of the worst?
Well, like, let's say you are a
Gotta be downtown.
Let's say you're a tenured New York City bus driver.
Oh yeah.
What do
yeah.
you make, and what do you deal with?
Oh,
I'm saying you're downtown Brooklyn, running your line.
Yeah.
What do you make a year?
I mean,
Got to be a lot, right?
In New York, yeah.
You got to make
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And I bet those are like, first of all, they're all obviously union positions, right? And then
Yeah.
they're going to
Yeah.
be so grandfathered in. I bet the guys had the route for like 12 years or something, right?
Yeah. Like, maybe an old school union bus driver in New York City is pulling in
Yeah.
6 figures.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
it
starting
could
to
be,
talk about stuff I don't understand because then
Yeah.
you're talking about old city plus oldest living infrastructure we've had, right?
Yeah. And it's super hard to drive around in. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to be the best of the best to drive around that crowded city, you know?
Okay, now I'm giving myself anxiety because I wouldn't even know. Then you're
And then you're dealing with
taxis,
you know,
Ubers.
I'm sure you've seen like the security cam footage of bus drivers like getting attacked. And
Oh,
then,
yeah.
like, you know,
All
what I'm
the
saying? Like,
time.
yeah.
So they gotta
you
make a
get
ton.
mentally ill people all the
Right?
time.
Put them in a box.
So they got. I've always said that. I've never understood why they're not in a box.
Some are.
Other
but
than if they like, my caveat to that would be I don't want to be in the box when it's
You're
Devil's
burning
Night or
alive.
something. Yeah, and then it's Devil's Night. They've taken over the city, and then they're like, kill the little guy in the bus. They jam a bat between. I can't get out, and they're like, set his bus on fire. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna roast this piggy alive
that's
in his little
least
bus.
likely to happen rather than a person not on medication attacks you.
Right,
Yeah.
like it could save
Like,
you.
I'd
in
rather have the box.
Yeah, I'm okay with the box.
You-
in an ejection seat.
Well, think about like you're probably if you were a bus driver in New York City over the span of 15 years, there are a lot of people that commit suicide by jumping in front of buses.
Yes.
Like so.
Yeah.
So then.
Forgot about that.
So then you gotta live with the fact that you've killed a human being.
Maybe
even though
two.
Just go on
Maybe
the
two.
same route the next day.
Maybe
Yeah.
two. What
Oh.
if you've killed more than one? Is there a guy that's actively a New York City bus driver that's killed 3 people and he's like, I had to do it?
Well, it's not even. It's
What
just
am I? Hey.
they jump in front of your bus to
Yeah.
commit suicide. He's not your fault. Like you try to slam on your brakes, but you're gonna run them over
Yeah.
and instantly
That's
kill
when you
them.
need automated buses.
Yeah. And then it's like the people that accidentally fall in front of you, like off the sidewalk or get pushed or something. Like,
Bicyclists,
Yeah.
pedestrians.
Or that lady that just pushed that old lady down. Sometimes you're just walking down the street as an old lady and you get pushed.
yeah. And then like you have to live the rest of your days knowing you
I feel
accidentally
like a New
killed
York
a
City
human.
bus driver though is tough enough to handle killing one,
They've
right?
seen a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like
Yeah.
you've been prepared through like other suicides and doo-doo and just pee-pee and bad people.
Before they give you your route, they
Yeah.
they get the
Psychological.
eyeball things on Clockwork Orange where they make you
Do they-
watch all the accidents that have happened over the
Yeah,
years.
or maybe they just give you a psychological evaluation and see if you can handle it, like an astronaut or something.
How long do they give you off for that? Like if you
like a
accidentally
bereavement?
killed a
Yeah,
human.
you just get that one
You
shift
get a
off.
long weekend.
One
You get a
shift,
long
Yeah, you
weekend.
gotta be
Like,
back
yeah.
the next day.
I-
You get a Memorial Day scenario.
I feel like they give you a full week,
No.
right? If there's an accident and a human being dies and it's not your fault, but it's just that, like they committed suicide and like I mean,
I bet you get a month.
no, not a
way.
month.
You don't
no
think
way
a
a
month?
month. But
You know,
I
2 weeks, 2
I
weeks.
think they cancel your shift that day and you're right back in there the next
You don't
day.
think you get 2 weeks?
Get to work.
And then maybe they have a program set up for you to go to some, like, hey, we do have some therapy you can go to in the meantime if you would
For
like
a
to.
bus driver, you guys are giving
I don't know.
a lot of credit.
I
to
mean,
these
maybe
like,
nowadays-
I remember when Vince McMahon had to do it for all the stupid wrestlers.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if the
Well, that's
wrestlers are getting
not
it,
a
then,
bus
you know,
driver.
I
Yeah,
know,
that's
but the
true.
bus drivers are more important. You would think that they would have it.
Yeah, but nowadays maybe like they do that with cops and like firefighters.
Yeah, 'cause
where
they
if,
see
like,
some stuff,
If
man.
you were involved in some death,
They
they'll give you
offer
a
it,
time.
yes,
Yeah.
but that's also again not city transport workers.
Yeah,
I wanna know
because
not
if you
the
take
same.
it, your friends will bully you. I'll bully you.
Yeah. Would you bully me?
Yeah. If you
How
took
many
off,
days would you let me take? If I
just
so
one
I
day.
run over this old lady. She
Yeah.
just jumps in front of my bus to kill her. I kill her, and but I don't kill her. Like I hurt her real bad. Then she dies.
Yeah. And then I go show up to
Yeah,
work
yeah.
the next day,
And
then
I'm
my
not
boss
there.
like,
I'm not there.
We're
And
all gonna work a
Sam's
little
like,
extra
Dan's
'cause-
not here. He's at therapy for the
oh
lady.
yeah. I'll
here.
say
Would you text me immediately?
No, I wouldn't tell you, but I'd tell the whole group. I'd be like, that guy's a P word.
Yeah, he's weak.
Yeah,
The little
yeah.
guy's weak.
Yeah. Just get,
You know the one
get
that
back
has
to
to,
work.
he has to drive the bus with that special pillow because he's so small he can barely see all of the buttons in the bus. I don't even think I can physically drive a bus.
You need a booster seat.
How
No,
about-
I think my arms are even too small to hit the door. I don't even think I
It's
can
not-
open the door for you guys.
It's automatic. They don't. It's not a clutch and a shifter now,
No,
right?
it's
all
automatic.
Yeah.
Should've
Will
asked
the
the bus
seat?
driver.
Is
I
the
know.
seat built
It's
like?
got to be. There's no way they're.
I'll check the next time I'm on the bus.
There's no way they're training them to shift and stuff. That's
No,
too
it's
much stuff.
automatic.
Yeah.
Is the bus? Does it have the seat where I can push it all the way up and get myself comfortable? It's air ride. It's an air ride suspension.
Yeah. It looks
So I can,
pretty
It looks
comfy.
awesome. Looks like
Yeah.
a spaceship. Looks like Starfield.
Yeah.
So I push myself in there.
The seat's big.
Am I too small though? Is it too big of a seat? Because most bus drivers are big fat slobs.
It's like, yeah, well, it would be. You know,
And they
it's like-
become that.
it's
First
like
of all,
you
let
sitting
me
in those-
clarify my statement because I don't want any
Okay.
emails.
All right.
They become that. You don't start as a bus driver, a big fat slob. You as you drive, you slob out
Yeah.
because it's a sedentary job.
And if there's anybody that gets mad at Daniel, pull up your shirt and tell me if you have abs or not.
I thought you were going to say do the truffle shuffle. Really leaning into this Goonies thing.
I'm just saying, he's just yelling the truth. What can we do?
There's one.
What can we
there's
do?
What else can
one.
I
But
do?
wouldn't you think that the one bus driver with abs who's driving around, one of
Oh,
his
yeah.
buddies would be like, "Hey, you should go out for Aladdin," and he would. He'll go and he'll try out to be Aladdin, and they're like, put him in the stage show.
Yeah.
Right? I'm just telling the truth. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for being my friend and supporting me. I appreciate that.
It's crazy to me, though, that Disney is the second largest in the United States. I would think Chicago.
That was a
right?
nice fun fact. I'm glad he led with that.
Like, Chicago's got to be even bigger, right?
No,
Than
it's not.
Disney
you,
World?
you heard the man. It's New York and then up.
like Philadelphia and D.C. Like, there's a lot of buses there, right?
Is that
It's a
embarrassing
giant
or is
city.
that cool? Like, because now that we have friends, we all have friends from New York that are like, "Hey, man, this is New York, man." Like, everybody's talking about this is New York, New York, New York. We're second to you, and we're just having a theme park.
Yeah. It just seems like giant cities would have way more buses than Disney World. But, God, Disney World, like the map, if you...
We don't win in
Also, like
trains.
cruise buses from like the ports to Disney.
Yeah, they're bringing everybody
DVC.
together.
We don't
The
win in-
airport. I mean, how many
airport buses?
There's probably 10 airport buses that are
And
around.
they have buses go every 15 minutes at every single stop at every single
Okay,
park.
here's
Yeah,
a hot
yeah,
take.
yeah.
Hot take.
Wow.
The monorail doesn't do much, right? It's just for show,
I mean, it transports people.
but not a lot. Percentage-wise, you take away Disney's buses, they're crippled. They can't run that park off of just monorail and a tugboat. What is that thing? The boat that goes over
the ferry?
The ferry.
Yeah.
Right? It's the buses that get the work done. The
I think so,
monorail
yeah.
to me is awesome, but like it's not a lot of people.
Oh, they'll pack them in.
I don't
At the
think
end of,
I'd love
the
to
day at
see the
Magic Kingdom?
percentages.
Oh.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's as
the
much
buses,
as we
I
think.
think the buses are probably the majority of
Yeah, I bet the
people,
buses
yeah.
are like
Yeah, the
65.
monorails don't even go to every single
Right.
park
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything.
So
anyway.
I'm surprised they haven't like put, since the monorail is cool and little boys and little girls actively as children look at the monorail and go, "Oh crap, that's I know I do." Even as an old man, I look at it, I'm like, that's awesome. I wish they'd spend more money on it and make it like push more people, make it have more fun stuff in it.
When do you think the buses become fully automated?
It's close.
And then when does Disney just hire a person to sit there and pretend they're driving?
Probably working on it right now, right?
Just so because people are like,
They gotta be working on it right now.
But it's all fully automated, and the person just sits there and then pretends that he was steering the wheel, just so their guests feel more comfort
Yeah.
while we transition
You know what
into
I'd
a
like
fully
more than a
automated
human?
world.
Why don't you put a Mickey Mouse with blinky eyes there, right? I'd
Yeah.
love
The guests get nervous.
Sam, at
With
the
robots.
Orlando City match, they had the expensive Mickey and Minnie out with
Oh.
Sabrina with the blinky eyes,
yeah.
dressed in the full resort clothing because they're giving away stuff, The blinky eyes Mickey Mouse is the only, they should never do any Mickey Mouse but the one where his eyes blink because it makes you think it's real. It's such a simple thing to do, and you see it, and you're like, oh, my God, that's so much better when his eyes blink. You're like, oh, my God, you're real. Hug me, hug me.
Yeah. I mean, make him breathe.
Yeah, you can do anything. I loved it. Like, I was sitting, even Maisie
Give
was
him
like,
real hair.
Even Maisie noticed.
That's
Maisie's like,
creepy.
Maisie looked at me and goes, his eyes blink. I go, I know, that's
Yeah.
the best. Mickey Mouse is the one where his eyes go up and down.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
All right. That was a great one, Sam. Thank you, Eric. I don't know if he's in
Yeah.
the chat room, but well done, buddy.
All right.
Guy came with facts and enthusiasm.
So Wednesday is done.
Yep, Wednesday's done.
And then we just need Tuesday 1 and 2, right?
We do.
Okay, so we'll just do that after lunch.
Okay.
Which will probably take an early lunch.
Okay. We do have some commercials and stuff we can do before lunch if you want. That way we don't have to wait till the end of the day.
Let's do that.
1 and 2. Okay. So we're taking lunch now?
Yeah, we'll do commercials before lunch, and then we'll come back at 1.
I think I'm wrong on the monorail thing. SJ's digging into it for me.
Is a lot of people go through the monorail?
Apparently. All right, guys. I guess we're taking a quick lunch.